Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com, and thank you for stopping by today as we take a look at this Etchr Watercolor 24 half-pan set. I've been eagerly waiting to receive this in the mail. I ordered this myself, a week or two ago, and I've just been dying to sit down and try these out. Look at the beautiful colors included in this set. And Etchr calls this it comes in a really fancy, nice box, and wait till you see how nice they pack this thing up, and it's got like a really cool, it's wrapped in like this velvety cloth. Look at that. Oh, that's so nice. And this is the Watercolor 24 half-pan set, and they're calling it a premium student series set. So I don't know if that means like a higher end student grade paint or a lower end sort of professional grade paint, but I love the transparency that Etchr included with this set. So number one, let's just talk about the tin. Very well built tin. It's a quality tin. You know, it's not plastic, so that's great. And it comes with this swatch card, which we'll use today to swatch out these colors. But I talked about the transparency a little bit, and if you look a little closer at that card, which we'll do in a minute, it gives you all the colors, and it tells you exactly the pigment number for that color, and whether or not, I mean, you can look that up and see if it's a fugitive color or not, and if two colors mix together, what that's like. But yeah, it's definitely a step up in terms of transparency from other companies in terms of what the pigments are, pigment numbers, and their own determination of what their transparency is. And so they've kind of got a scale of light fastness, and it must go from like 1 to 10. So most of these are in the 6 to 8 range, with most of them being an 8. But there's a few 7s in here, and there's a few different colors that sort of mix pigments. For instance, the lime green or the umber brown are two, and the dark brown is another one. But most of these paints are single pigment and meant to be pretty light fast. So I really appreciate that transparency. So as I was going through swatching these colors, a couple of these colors just really stood out to me. The sweet red, the llama orange, the royal purple, the cobalt and sky blue were really nice. I love those. I even love the burnt sienna, which is very nice. Again, you get pretty much every paint you could want in a set in this little set, which is awesome. And just really liked the paint going down, and you can see it kind of mixes with itself very well, so you don't have a lot of streaking or blotching or anything like that. It's really good in terms of mixing with itself. And I mean, if you look at that cobalt blue, that's like a perfect example. And if it says it's transparent, it really is transparent. If it says it's semi-opaque, it really is semi-opaque. So, I mean, kudos to Etchr for A, the transparency, B, making just really nice bright paints here. Now, I know some companies will add brighteners or pigment enhancers, I guess you could call color enhancers, to their paint, and we're not sure what Etchr did there because we don't have access to their, how they actually mixed and made the paint. But I think the transparency, and as far as the pigment numbers and just whether or not the color is transparent and all that stuff, I think that's awesome. I will have a couple tips for Etchr at the end of this that I want to share with them that I think might even help a little bit more. And maybe if they don't hear me, we can amplify our voices together. But anyway, those are going to be small, sort of nitpicky things, but important ones, I think, if you want to introduce a world-class product to the market and really, really impress people. Now, I will say overall, I am very impressed by this paint, very impressed by the presentation, the paint itself, the transparency, not of the watercolor, but of the company. Its transparency and just letting you know what's in their paint, the pigment numbers and all that stuff. That's very important, and it's great to see Etchr doing that and taking a lead kind of in the industry with that. I mean, just being transparent. Here's our product. Here's what it does. Try it out. Here's what's in it. That's awesome. That's good. All right, so I'm almost finished with this little sketch, and I'm just going to modify the clouds here a little bit, make some clouds with a little tissue paper, believe it or not. So I'll just dab there, and there you can see some clouds developing over here too. But here's my list of tips. Let's start with the outside packaging. I'm talking about the box that the kit comes in. So on the front flap, it's magnetized, and it would be just a nice favor to put a note there, open here, or just the word open on that flap, because what I did was I tried to push the box out of the end or to take the top off, and all the time not knowing it was just a magnetized enclosure via the flap. So just an open here note would be great. And then the tin itself is well constructed, so no complaints there. Please stay with that tin. In terms of additional transparency about the product, it would be nice to have like an ATSM rating or something about the product being non-toxic, since kids can use this as well. It says student grade, premium student grade. So assuming that you're marketing to students and artists alike, put a little toxicity, non-toxic notice on there if indeed the paints are, or warn us if they aren't toxic free. But that would be nice. And then each one of the half pans is individually wrapped, which is cool. And the wrapping isn't as complicated as like taking the candy wrapper wrapping off a Schminke half pan, but it is still a little complicated. So instead of making people remove that wrapper, how about just a little tiny label on the side of the half pan where you can see it? Like on that opening end, inside the valley there, if you just had a little tag on the end, that just told you what the color name was and the pigment, that would be awesome. Because otherwise, it's a waste. You just throw these wrappers away. Most people do. And that way you could leave it on there, and you could always check that if you weren't sure. So a little bit of a label on the half pan would be awesome. And then I love the swatch card. Thank you for doing that, and especially on the 100% cotton paper, because then we're seeing what it's going to look like on really good watercolor paper. So good job there, Etchr. Just an all-around fine product. Very, very few suggestions there for them to improve. I really liked this set and can strongly recommend it. I think it's awesome, and it's better than many, many, many of the student grade paints I've used, as well as better than some of the artist grade paints I've used. So that's saying a lot. All right, well, thanks for stopping by to take a look at these today. And I hope you'll stop by the website at owingsart.com when you get a chance. This has been Marty. So long. Have a great day. Bye-bye.